Well, it's now about 10 minutes after the hour of 6 o'clock, and we have some very special guests with us. Right here, we have some fellows that are opening up at the Blushing Zebra Coffee House this Wednesday. It's Jay Hoffman and I forgot Charlie Miller. That's it. I'm sorry. I'm reading it off I'm reading it off a flyer, and I was just having a hard time quite catching what that says. And it says Gala Reunion Concert here at the Blushing Zebra Coffee House, Wednesday, July 15th at 8:30. What's happening, guys? How you doing?
We're doing fine.
Well, I'm glad to hear that. What's this Gala Reunion Concert?
Well, it simply means that we haven't really sung together in about a year and a half, what with childbirth and job changes and things like that. And we're really happy to be getting back together again and performing right before Mike Miller, who, well,
Who's a bon vivant, it says right here.
Not only a bon vivant, sings maybe 500 or 600 or 700 different songs in 3 or 4 different languages.
Wow, that's pretty good. Well, why don't you give us a taste of maybe something that we can hear this coming up this Wednesday at the Blushing Zebra?
Well, Charlie wrote a song that he'd like to tell you about. Charlie?
Yeah, well, Jay and I write parodies, and we sort of got our start with the Folk Song Society at the Folk Song Society's spring thing, and it just mushroomed from there, and we've become world celebrities. Somewhere along the line, I was taken by the Point Pleasant pump situation, and I wrote a song after hearing friends of ours do Finnegan's Wake. This one we call Finnegan's Other Wake. Tim Finnegan was a moral man, a member of the majority, a fine upstanding Republican, with but one vice, to water ski. Well, one fine day to Pleasant Point, the dozers came,
Ka-chug, ka-chug.
they pumped the Delaware River dry, and Tim was skiing in the mud. Whack followed all, now where's our river? Give it back for goodness sake. There's dead fish and rocks and mud, but no more water in Finnegan's Wake. Now Timmy left the office early. He strapped his skis on at the pier, shouted to the motorboat driver, come on, get this thing in gear.
Rum, rum, rum.
The driver gunned the Chrysler engine. Tim grabbed the tow rope without fear. The prop churned gravel, the motor exploded, found Tim in mud up to his rear. Whack followed all, now where's our river? Give it back for goodness sake. There's dead fish and rocks and mud, but no more water in Finnegan's Wake. Now Timmy looked around in horror. He said, I voted for Ron. They can't do this to me. I guess I'll have to use my noodle to figure out how I can ski. He bought himself a big Ford Bronco, 4-wheel drive and power brakes. He strapped the tow rope to the bumper. A spray of mud was Finnegan's Wake. Whack followed all, now where's our river? Give it back for goodness sake. There's dead fish and rocks and mud, but no more water in Finnegan's Wake. Now 20 miles south of there, Philadelphians looked out to see a muddy gap between Penn's Landing and the state of New Jersey.
Dum, 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 dum.
And though container ships were stuck, the Olympia tipped on her side. They'd sooner drive the Delaware than to take I-95. Whack followed all, now where's our river? Give it back for goodness sake. There's dead fish and rocks and mud, but no more water in Finnegan's Wake. Now Tim awoke to his relief to find that it was all a dream. They hadn't pumped out all the water. We still had a running stream. But Pico's nukes are mighty thirsty. They'll drink all the water they can take. Here the people dump the pump so we can swim in Finnegan's Wake. Whack followed all, now where's our river? Give it back for goodness sake. There's dead fish and rocks and mud, but no more water in Finnegan's Wake.
That's Finnegan's Other Wake.
Is our power going to suddenly be shut off up here, or?
Well, we maybe won't get flooded.
I don't think it'll affect it if we can get more people to try and get this thing stopped.
True enough.
That's possible.
True enough. Yeah, anything's possible, that's for sure. Well, maybe you ought to tell me about some of your influences, you know, some people that give you ideas. Do you do mostly original material, or do you do a lot of combination of both?
Well, we do a lot of material that was written and sung, performed by Eric Bogle. We've done some parodies. I guess our most famous parody is one that we probably can't mention on the air that was inspired by Stan Rogers that he did in his last performance in Philadelphia.
It was the last song he ever sang in Philadelphia 2 weeks before he died, back in May of 83, isn't it? It's
yeah,
4 years.
but out of deference, we won't sing it.
To our listeners, or to Stan Rogers?
No, to some of our listeners.
To some of our listeners. That's nice. Do you want to do another one?
Okay, I guess this one was really inspired by some other influences of ours. A local group called So's Your Mom. Brian Donnelly and Jack Bartley perform in various different bars. One of their songs...
And sundry, various and
various
sundry.
and sundry, yes. And one of their songs, in addition to Finnegan's Wake, is a song that they brought across from Ireland called...
The Old Dun Cow.
The Old Dun Cow. And it goes something like this.
We do a cow-chicken medley.
Oh, that's good.
You'll see what we mean by it.
Okay.
Some friends and I in a public house were playing dominoes one night, when all of a sudden in the fireman ran. His face was ghastly white. "Oh, what's up?" says Brown. "Have you seen a ghost? Have you seen your Aunt Maria?"
Well, me Aunt Maria be buggered, says he. The bleeding pub's on fire.
"On fire," says Brown. "There's a bit of luck. Come along with me and we'll see. We'll go down in the cellar. If the fire ain't there, we'll have a rare old spree." So we all went down with good old Brown. The beer, it wasn't easily missed, and we weren't there 10 minutes before. We were all quite pissed. And there was Brown, upside down, mopping up the whiskey from the floor. And it's booze, booze, the firemen cried as they come knocking at the door. Don't let 'em in till it's all mopped up. Then someone shouted, "Rosentire."
That's later, Charlie.
McIntyre. And we all got blue, blind, paralytic drunk when the Old Dun Cow caught fire. Well, based on my heritage, I get confused.
I've noticed. And what we do, instead of singing the entire song, which so's your mom says we don't really know anyway, incorrectly.
We sing the original version that was brought over from the...
farther east by far. It goes something like this. Some friends and I in a public place was playing pinochle one night, when all of a sudden in the Rebbe ran, his punum was ghastly white. Nu says Con, "Have you seen a ghost? Have you seen your Tante Lechaya?"
"Well, mein Tante Lechaya be stopped," says he. "The verstunkene place is on fire."
On fire, says Con. What a bit of luck. Come along with me and we'll see. Well, it's down in the basement if the fire ain't there. We'll have a rare old spree. So we all went down with the good old Con. And we was quite famished. And we wasn't there 10 minutes before. We was all quite pissed. And there was Con, upside down, mopping up the whiskey from the floor. Well, schnapps, schnapps, the Rebbe cried as he come knocking at the door. Well, don't let 'em in till it's all mopped up. Then someone shouted, "Rosenthal, Rosenthal." And we all got blind, paralytic, shivered. When the whole great chicken boing down, then Katz went over to the Manischewitz keg and gave it just a few hard knocks. And he started taking off his gatkes, likewise his dirty socks. "What's this?" says Con. "That ain't allowed. You can't do that around here. There'll be no washing your gatkes in the Manischewitz keg." Then we got stale old beer. And there was Con, upside down, mopping up the whiskey from the floor. Well, it's schnapps, schnapps, the Rebbe cried as he come knocking at the door. Well, don't let 'em in till it's all mopped up. Then someone shouted, "Rosenthal, Rosenthal." And we all got blind, paralytic, shivered. When the whole great chicken boing down, then all of a sudden was a mighty crash. Half the blazing roof gave way, and we was drowning in the ganze flood, though we was all quite gay. So we got some schmatters to seal the cracks, and nerd ourselves inside. And we was drinking so much schnapps that we was bleary-eyed. And there was Con, upside down, mopping up the whiskey from the floor. Well, it's schnapps, schnapps, the Rebbe cried as he come knocking at the door. Well, don't let 'em in till it's all mopped up. Then someone shouted, "Rosenthal, Rosenthal." And we all got blind, paralytic, shivered. Then the whole great chicken boing down. And that's the cow chicken opus.
Did you learn that from Alan Sherman or Leo Ralston?
We learned that from me.
Oh, you wrote that one?
Yeah.
Actually, we wrote it on I-95, so there might be some significance to that.
Yeah,
a rainstorm.
There very well could be. So you're performing, that's this Wednesday night at the Blushing Zebra Coffee House, and that's at Germantown and Mount Airy Avenues. And you're opening for Mike Miller.
Right.
Well, that sounds really cool. And this is the Spruce Ferry. Do you guys call yourself Spruce Ferry? Is
Spruce Ferry. That's
Ah.
because Jay lived on Spruce Street, and I lived at Ferry Station in Camden.
It seemed to be a natural thing, I guess.
Right.
Well, do you have one more song you want to give us before we go back to some more music here for our
Not
listeners?
all of our songs are so...
Well, not that you're not music, but
I didn't really hear him say that.
No.
you
Not
know
all.
what I meant now.
Keith, not all of our songs are light and airy, and we thought that we'd leave your audience with something to ponder, something very serious. And,
Oh, good.
yeah, so.
You're as crazy as you ever were, but it's fun anyway. This is our Down the Plug Hole opus, and there are many people I don't think have heard the epilogue to this song, but we'll do it. A mother was bathing her baby one night, the youngest of 10, a poor little mite. The mother was fat, and the baby was thin, only a skeleton wrapped up in skin. The mother turned round for the soap from the rack. She warn't gone a minute, but when she got back, her baby was gone, and in anguish she cried,
"Ah, where is my baby?"
The angels replied,
Your baby has gone down the plug hole. Your baby has gone down the plug. The poor little thing was so skinny and thin. He should have been bathed in a jug. In a jug. Your baby is perfectly happy. He won't need no bathing no more. He's mucking about in the sewers, not lost, just gone before, just gone before.
wait a minute, we can't leave this poor little kid mucking about in the sewers.
That's
Besides,
right.
there's got to be a moral to the
moral.
story. Charlie?
Well, it wasn't so much that the mother was fat or the baby was thin. No, nothing like that. It's not just a story of child abuse, as much as a sad case of plumbing misuse. For when she turned round for the soap from the rack, 'twas obvious that she was on the wrong track.
Oh, where is my baby?
Deserve no reply. Respect you your plumbing. Her fixtures did cry. You swoosh that poor kid down the plug hole, where water and sewage should go. If he'd only been a bit fatter, you'd have to have used Drano. Used Drano. Please treat your plumbing with kindness, your sink, tub, and toilet to wit. If you treat your plumbing with kindness, it'll put up with all of your... Shine your buttons with Brasso. It's only 3 halfpence a tin. You can buy a tall whippet from Woolworths, but I don't think they've got any in.
Such harmony. I can't believe it.
Well, that was beautiful, guys. Absolutely beautiful.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I want to thank Charlie Miller and Jay Hoffman for being our guests on Moonshine this afternoon. And please do go out to see them at the Blushing Zebra Coffee House. That's at Germantown and Mount Airy Avenues in the Mount Airy section of Philadelphia. That's this Wednesday, July 15th at 8:30, right?
That's right.
Right.
Thank you, Keith.
Okay, thank you, guys. Stop back again sometime. Well, I think we're going to go...
Makes me blue.